Women's standards are hilarious because they have no standards other than the double standards, right? Well, no, but when men tell them that their standards are delusional because they're just so high and unattainable, what happens when men actually push these standards right back onto them?
One of the things I just love doing in the shorts that I post on this channel is pointing out the double standards that women have, the ones that they so proudly display in all their silly little videos every day. Oh, they don't call them double standards. Oh, no, my friends.
Call
They call
standards.
them higher standards. But in reality, they're exactly the same thing. And the ultimate double standard, the biggest one of all, is that they actually think they get to have those higher standards, while at the same time losing their ever-loving minds if men have any at all. I mean, watch what happens if a man has one preference. Not a whole bunch of them, but just one.
Can you be fit? That's like that one preference is probably the biggest gripe, and then the second one is, can you not have a lot of bodies? Stop being a whore.
They instantly go on the attack. How dare he? Just who the hell does he think he is? Suddenly he's shallow, he's controlling, he's misogynistic, he's a creep or worse. But setting that one aside, I thought it might be fun to play a little game. Play a game where we judge women by the exact same standards that women judge men.
Damn right.
Not harsher, not meaner, but exactly the same. And in the process, hopefully show everyone just how absurd women's standards are and how their having them is nothing short of pure hypocrisy. To put it another way, let's give the goose what they've been giving the gander for decades now. And let's see how that works out. So I want to start with a personal fave of mine, which is how women love saying they won't date a guy who's under 6 feet tall. That any man who isn't at least 6 feet tall is simply unworthy. Unworthy of dating, unworthy of marriage, unworthy of even being considered a man. And they deem that mindset perfectly acceptable and justify it by claiming it's just my preference. Well, okay then, Felicia. How about we apply a similar preference to you and see how you feel about it, okay? So we're going to have you come up right on over here and step on the scale. We're going to see what you actually weigh, not
She looks way more than 134.
what you claim to weigh. And we're going to do that not just now, but every day moving forward, so we can ensure you don't start packing on the pounds, which, let's be honest, most of you
You better be on that scale every morning.
do. I mean, fair is fair. We can't change our height, so you shouldn't be allowed to change your weight either, right? Oh, what? You're not willing to do that? That's not fair? It's body shaming? It's demeaning? Oh, really? How so? Because you have complete control over your weight, while men have absolutely no say over their height. So explain to me, Felicia, how labeling any man who happens to be under 6 feet tall as unworthy isn't body shaming him, isn't demeaning him, but a man mentioning weight is to women. Explain to me how you saying you won't date a man who isn't at least 72 inches tall is just a preference, but a man not wanting to date a woman over, say, 120 pounds is the equivalent of committing a hate crime. Because while you all love to spew that standard all day long, as I said earlier, you lose your ever-loving minds at the mere thought of a man having a similar standard. So go ahead, Felicia. Make it make sense. It's a beautiful example of the double standards that women hold. How,
Again, it's just obviously hypocrisy that women are just so into their little lizard brain, and they haven't, as much as women say, oh, our brains have developed and we're better. No, you have not developed at all, because the reason why you want tall men is because you're lizard brain, and you can't override that for some reason.
one standard is celebrated as being empowered, while the other gets men canceled. But wait, there's more. Now, let's talk about all the women who want a guy with six-pack abs. No dad bods. Oh, no, no, no. He's got to be hitting the gym every single day. Got to be disciplined. Got to be healthy and excellent from head to toe. Okay, fine, Becky with an I. Now how about we expect the exact same thing back from you? No mommy pouch, no sagging boobs, no ass filled with enough cellulite to rebuild the Death Star.
Jesus.
No living on DoorDash, no daily 800-calorie caramel mochachinos with 3 pumps of whatever from Starbucks that somehow has become your personality trait. No, I'll start Monday for the 50th Monday in a row. You want a man who treats his body like an investment? Well, then we're going to expect you to treat yours like something other than a storage unit.
Damn.
Okay? And here's another one which is hilarious, and that is how women say they want a man who's funny. They want a man who keeps them entertained and who can carry a conversation. Cool beans, Karen. But then how about you try being pleasant once in a while? Not happy, not entertaining, not even funny. Just pleasant.
Like, just imagine having to like be the entertainer of the relationship. Like, you're literally the court gesture, and she just wants you to dance, monkey, dance.
Because the fact is, most of you are about as pleasant as Kim Kardashian's ass and boobs are real. Funny, isn't it, how the same women demanding a comedian show up on the first date have the personality of expired yogurt that's been sitting out in the sun for 3 days. You just gotta love how they show their constant negativity all the time and are proud that they show it. How they love to show their constant attitude, their constant sarcasm disguised as honesty. No, sorry, Karen, but being exhausting isn't a personality. Being loud and obnoxious isn't charisma. And most certainly all that trauma dumping you're doing before the appetizers arrive isn't emotional intimacy. It's just you being you, and let me tell you, we men have enough stress and chaos in our lives. So the last thing we want or need is you bringing more into it. And next is the standard that pretty much every woman denies having, yet they put it front and center everywhere you look.
Money?
You know how they say they want love, want companionship, but in reality, all they really want is money. His money.
How did we know?
It's why universally they say he has to make 6 figures. He has to be a good provider. He has to have a job. He has to have ambition.
Yes, I always love that. He has to have ambition one. That means, yeah, he's either going to be rich or is rich or going to be rich.
Okay, great, Brittany. How about you? Do you make at least 6 figures too with that women's studies degree? How about you show us your credit score? How about you show us how much debt you're carrying? How about you show us if you can stick to a budget for, say, more than a week, or whether your retirement plan is actually finding a guy with a bigger paycheck? Because wanting financial security while being a financial disaster yourself isn't standards, it's outsourcing responsibility. And pretty much every woman does it. Now here's another one that literally makes me laugh out loud every time I hear it, which is when women say they want an interesting man. They want one who travels, who has hobbies, who builds things.
So rich.
Maybe he boxes, he fishes, or he plays guitar. They want all of that, that is.
They don't definitely want a guy that bowls, though. That's never been on the list. Man.
Until he goes to actually do any of those things, which then immediately turns into her making it into a guilt trip. Why don't you want to spend time with me? Why are you always spending time with your friends? Why don't we ever do anything together? Yeah, sure, Candy. Whatevs. Now, let's flip it. What's your hobby, princess? Watching The View on repeat or Virgin River on Netflix for 6 hours a day? Maybe it's posting rants and man-hating videos on TikTok for clicks, likes, and validation every hour on the hour. How about those homeless brunches with enough mimosas to refill the Great Salt Lake 3 times over? And of course, what about all those daily viewings of Real Housewives, Snapped, and The Bachelor, all while you're posting inspirational quotes you don't actually live by on Snapchat? Sorry, Candy, but scrolling isn't a hobby, and shopping isn't a personality. and existing isn't in the least bit interesting. Now comes what is at this moment my very favorite one. The one that goes, he has to be emotionally mature. He has to regulate his emotions. He has to be able to communicate. Absolutely.
Like, the whole reason he doesn't cry or do anything is because he's able to regulate his emotions.
That is, until he actually does any of those things, at which point you lose your minds and call him weak, unmanly, or abusive. Funny how y'all claim you want a man to open up, yet go on the attack the very minute that he does. You mock him, demean him, you label him as controlling or not caring about you. You twist and turn everything he says into a negative. Also, you can judge him and make it all about you in turn. And if we actually applied that standard equally to women, well, darlings, that means no more stomping your feet, throwing things, and screaming because you didn't get your way. No blowing up his phone 50 times. No more loyalty tests. No more picking fights because you're bored. No more using tears as a negotiation tactic. No more weaponizing your childhood every time someone holds you accountable. And most of all, no more running to your friends and family to tell them every minute detail about him, your relationship, or anything that goes on.
They don't even do that with the family anymore, Dan. It's not the family, it's the internet now. Now they just blast it to millions of people.
Within it. You want emotional maturity, emotional stability? Well, how about you bring some for once? Because all y'all have the emotional maturity and stability of a 3-year-old at the grocery store checkout whose mother told her she couldn't have a candy bar. Most women couldn't hold a rational conversation if their life depended on it. Yet, you have no problem claiming it's the men who can't. The funny part of all of this is that while I was having a bit of fun there and ever so slightly exaggerating, just a bit, the fact is pretty much everything I said applies to every woman out there.
Pretty much.
Women routinely create standards that eliminate 99% of men, then wonder why they can't find one. Women have a long list of ridiculous demands and expectations that, in reality, no man can meet. Nobody bats an eye about it. But if a man has, well, anything, then he hates women. Women en masse routinely say they want men who are 6 feet tall, make 6 figures, have 6-packs. He needs to be funny, confident, ambitious. He also needs to be protective and emotionally available. And of course, he's also got to be handsome, experienced, romantic, socially skilled, and successful in every possible way. Meanwhile, a guy says, I just want a woman who will treat me with respect and occasionally acknowledge and appreciate me.
Just the appreciating part is probably the best part, right? Just like me.
And the internet acts like he just kicked a puppy. That's the double standard. Women call theirs preferences, call them having higher standards, while at the same time telling men that they're having any is oppression. The fact is, if men judged women the way women openly judge men all the time, dating apps would crash by dinner time. Birth rates would fall off a cliff even more than they already are. And suddenly, we'd be having national conversations about men's unrealistic expectations. Yet when women do it,
they're having conversations about it already, even though we don't have unrealistic expectations. That's the crazy thing.
Which they have been for years now, it's empowering. It's them being strong and independent. It's them having standards and being boss bitches. A boss bitch who knows what she wants and what she deserves. Yeah, okay, sure. The truth is simple, ladies. If you're allowed to have standards, well, guess what? So are we men. So if you can reject us because we're too short, we can reject you because you don't take care of yourself and think Haagen-Dazs is a major food group.
Fatty.
If you're going to judge us by our income, then guess what? We're going to judge you by your spending habits.
Brokey.
Especially that spending on worthless things like shoes, dresses, and all that god-awful fake-up you trowel on every day. If you're going to expect excellence and perfection from men 24/7, 365, then you can for damn sure expect to be expected to do the same without fail. Because, darlings, that's what equality actually looks like. Y'all claim it's all about equality, don't you? So if that's actually the case, then why do you all have one set of rules for women and another one for men?
And it's funny because even if they date women, women dating women, they still have another set of rules for women, even though they're just dating just as if it was a heterosexual relationship anyways, right? So that's the sad thing. Even when women are looking onto other women, they don't put that onto women.
The reason is because it turns out equality isn't nearly as popular as y'all want to make it once the mirror gets turned around.